way. They just happened to be standing as we found them and just eating all the marula fruits there. So as I say, there's a lot of vegetation with a lot of moisture, so you wouldn't tend to get fires from the lightning now, but certainly just before the rains start around October, November, that's a big worry when the thunderstorms start. And obviously when it's very, very dry. I hope these little babies are going to come out. I remember I was just talking about them eating bark. That elephant that was just in frame looks like that's what was happening there, just eating the bark off the stick. But there's the two little ones who are playing, starting to come out. And there's baby. Oh, look at that, it's tiny. Keep up, you're going to get lost. And there's the two just behind the marula tree now, actually pushing each other backwards and forwards. Yeah, a little bit further right, there we go. There they are. Schlammbivendlov, east of Cheetah Line. East of Cheetah Line. And that's pretty much what bull elephants will do when they get older. Some of you might remember we were parked fairly close to a marula tree and we had two bulls come up and look for the marula fruits there, and they were getting pretty close. They're probably about 7 meters from us, just right in front of us, sparring like these two are doing. But much, much larger. And I started moving because they were getting fairly close to us, and I tried to move back and forgot that I wasn't in low range and revved just that little bit too much to try and get past the little dip, and interrupted them, unfortunately. But luckily they didn't mind, they got back to what they were doing. As I say, with the herd breaking up, oh, let's go and catch up with those Ellies just at the back there. There's some more sparring as well. But yeah, I think it was just the way when we came up, that was just the way they had to be standing, because if there was a problem, if there was a threat, they wouldn't be breaking up as much as this, and they look very relaxed now. So I don't think they did find the predators. It's just happening to find marula fruits. And apparently today is the day for playing. Oh, look at this, there's like 3 or 4 of them involved now. And that is part of play. You see it looks like there's a couple of very small babies under a year old. But this is why babies play, and it's the same as human children. We pick up a lot of skills and we start building up our muscles. So you'll see a lot of baby animals running around building their muscles, especially antelope, because obviously that's part of their survival. Oh, there is. There's a tiny little baby just behind those two. There we go. And giving a lot of attitude to everyone around. You see that, holding its head up high, opening its ears. Oh. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is tiny. Oh, that's probably one of the smallest elephants I've seen. Good afternoon to you, Lisa. Lisa wanting to know if we get any big tuskers in the area. And we do have the potential to get the tuskers. Obviously the Sabi Sands is part of the Greater Kruger National Park. And the Sabi Sands is about 65,000 hectares. And it does back onto the Kruger. The Kruger is actually just behind these elephants, probably a couple of k's to the border. But the tuskers tend to be further north in the park. And at Letaba they do have the 7 largest tuskers who have unfortunately died, but they were known as the largest tuskers. The Magnificent 7, I think they were called. So it is possible to see their skulls and tusks in Letaba. And I think Pete was actually saying he saw one that is potentially going to be a tusker further north, I think close to Mopani Bush Camp, which is right up in the top part of Kruger. But unfortunately, with a lot of the hunting of elephants, that gene seems to have died out, because the tuskers were obviously the ones that the hunters wanted to go for, the big tusks, and they've actually been reduced in size. The tusks have been reduced in size, possibly because of it. So you don't tend to get tuskers as much as you did in those days. And that's why there's quite an excitement when there is one that's a potential tusker. But as I say, nothing nearly as big as what they used to be. Which is extremely sad. And remember, the tusks of an elephant are the equivalent of our front teeth. They are the incisors. And inside their mouth, they don't have teeth like we do. They actually move from the back of the jaw to the front of the jaw, almost like a conveyor belt, and they've got ridges on there to help grind up their food. And they have 6 sets of teeth, and they grow from the back and move to the front, and they'll start to wear down. And as they start to wear down and decay, the next one comes through to replace it. There we go, slowly moving up onto the property known as Torchwood. And that's possibly where the Unkahuma pride are, and that's where our male lion, the Matimba, was searching for them this morning. Hi, Miss Jacobs and her class in Illinois. And another question from you guys. Great to hear you're still with us, and I hope you've been enjoying the elephants. And wanting to know how long I've been researching animals and what type of animals I've been researching. Well, I've actually always been fascinated by animals as far back as I can remember. Probably when I wonder how old, I forget how old you guys are now, maybe you could let me know. But I was about 5 years old, and I remember thinking I'd love to see a kangaroo when I was about 5 years old. And ever since then, it's always been about animals. I've always wanted to see animals. We used to go to the zoos quite a lot when I was younger. But I've always had this drive to come out and see animals out in the wild, and I'm so glad you can join us here, because this is exactly what I wanted to see when I was your age. See the animals being natural in their own environment and enjoying what the African bush had to offer. So I went to university and I did zoology, which was studying their behaviour and everything, and then I came out to be a guide. So I've actually been studying the animals in captivity and out here in the wild for most of my life. But I've been very privileged to be able to go and do leopard research for 3 years, and that's why I haven't been guiding for WildEarth for 3 years. I've been about 3 hours drive from here. Oh, there's a starling in front. We've got some hornbills just to the right. One of the starlings that was on the road there. So yes, I've been privileged enough to go and study leopards, especially after following our favourite leopard, Karula. I really fell in love with leopards. It was always tigers right from an early age as well. And I still have a very big passion for tigers, but leopards are the equivalent, the African equivalent out here. They're much smaller, but oh, they're amazing creatures and beautiful to watch as well. So I've been studying those over in another reserve, but I'm not as privileged. I don't get to see them as often as what you do here in the Sabi Sands, but we follow them with camera traps and pictures, and I'm trying to work out where they move and what areas they like, and help to try and protect them from people in the area, trying to help people understand them a little bit better so that they don't try and kill them, because unfortunately leopards do like to eat livestock on occasion. Oh, there we go, we've got the starling just in front of us here. Unfortunately you can't see the metallic colours that are usually on this starling. And can you believe it? His name escapes me. I'm just going to have a sneaky peek in my book again. It's been a long time since I've seen this guy. And there's a name on my lips and I know it's not the right one. Maybe you guys want to have a go at IDing him as well. Burchell's, there we go. Burchell starling.